All right, welcome to the deep dive, everybody. Today, we're going to be taking a deep dive into, SEO.
Search engine optimization.
Yeah, search engine optimization. That's what SEO stands for. You might be a business owner. You might be creating content online. Heck, you might just be curious about how search engines work. If any of that sounds like you, stick around.
Think about it like this. You're looking for, say, a hardware store near you. You go to your favorite search engine, you type it in, boom, a list of hardware stores magically appears.
Yeah, and it's not magic, though.
Right.
I mean, the stores that show up at the top, those guys, they're usually there for a reason.
SEO.
SEO, exactly. So SEO, in a nutshell, is about optimizing your website to rank higher in those search results. Not just on Google, by the way.
We got Bing, we got Yahoo, a lot of search engines out there.
A lot of search engines. And, when you get that higher ranking, the real prize is what's called organic traffic.
These are the folks that find you naturally, right? They're searching for something you offer. They find you. You didn't have to pay for an ad or anything like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Like they were searching for it, and there you were.
And here's the thing, right? I mean, think about when you do a Google search or whatever. How often do you go past that first page of results?
Yeah, you don't.
Not very often.
9 out of 10 people don't.
Over 90% of people don't even go past that first page. So if your website's not optimized, well, it's kind of like having a billboard in the middle of the desert.
Nobody's going to see it.
Nobody's going to see it.
Yeah.
And to really hammer home just how important this is, Google alone processes something like 8.5 billion searches every single day.
That's a lot of searches.
A lot of searches. That's a lot of opportunity.
It's a big opportunity to get yourself out there.
So that's what we're going to be looking at today. We're going to be looking at SEO, the fundamentals of SEO, and, hopefully giving you some tips, some takeaways that you can actually put to use.
Let's do it.
So let's get into it. SEO, search engine optimization, basically it's all about making your website more appealing, more visible to those search engines so you can rank higher and get more of that lovely organic traffic.
Exactly.
Let's go back to that hardware store example, right?
Let's go back.
Somebody searches best drill bits or, hardware store near me.
Yeah.
You want to be the one that pops up.
Right. And they're actively searching for that thing. That's the important part.
Yeah, they're ready to buy.
They're ready to go.
Yeah.
So if your website is optimized, you are far more likely to show up. And then they're going to click, hopefully, and come to your store.
And just to reiterate that point about, the importance of that first page, 90% of people aren't going past it. And we're talking billions of Google searches every day. That first page, man, that's valuable real estate.
That is the place to be.
That's the place to be.
Now, to understand how we can get you on that front page, we need to kind of break down SEO into its key components.
All right. How many components are we talking? Give me the framework here.
3.
3. Okay.
First, we have on-page SEO. This is all the stuff you can control directly on your website. Optimizing your content.
Content. What do we mean by content?
Your words, your images, your videos, all of that.
Okay, so it's not just the words, it's the whole shebang.
It's everything on the page.
Got it.
And then using the right keywords.
Keywords, yeah. So what people are actually typing into those search bars.
Exactly. And then making sure your website is structured in a way that both humans and search engines can understand.
So this is kind of like making sure your website's not just good for the people visiting, but also, making it easy for Google to crawl through and figure out what's going on.
Exactly. Think of it like organizing a library, right? You got to have clear labels on all the books. You want those books organized by genre or whatever. You want a good, clear map so people can find their way around.
Makes sense. Makes sense. Okay, so that's on page. What's number 2?
Number 2 is off-page SEO. Now, this one's a little different. It's all the things that happen off your website, but still affect how you rank.
Okay, interesting. So what kind of stuff are we talking about here?
The big one is backlinks.
Backlinks.
Backlink. Basically, links from other websites pointing back to yours.
So, like, if I have a website about, I don't know, let's say gardening, and then Better Homes and Gardens links to my website.
That's a backlink.
That's a backlink.
And a good one, because Better Homes and Gardens is a reputable website. So that tells Google, hey, this gardening website must be pretty good too.
So it's like a vote of confidence from another website.
It is a vote of confidence. And the more of those votes you get, especially from high quality websites, the better your rankings are going to be.
Okay, so on page is getting your own house in order. Off page is like getting those good recommendations.
Yeah.
What's that third piece of the puzzle?
The third piece is technical SEO. This is where we get into the nitty-gritty, the behind-the-scenes stuff.
Okay, so the nuts and bolts.
Exactly. This is how fast your website loads. You know, does it work well on a phone? Does it have a clean URL structure? All that technical stuff.
So if my website takes forever to load or it's a pain to use on my phone, they could actually hurt my rankings.
It absolutely can.
Really?
Search engines, they want to provide a good experience to users. And if your website is slow or clunky, people aren't going to stick around.
No, they're going to bounce.
They're going to bounce right off.
And Google picks up on that.
Google picks up on that.
Wow, so this technical stuff, this behind-the-scenes stuff,
Yeah.
it really does matter.
It really matters. You know, you mentioned phones, you mentioned mobile, and that is like one of the biggest things these days.
Oh, yeah, everybody's on their phones.
Everybody's on their phones. Over 60% of all searches come from mobile devices.
So if your website isn't designed for mobile, well, you're missing out on a huge chunk of potential visitors.
You are, and Google knows that.
Right.
So they're going to penalize you if your website isn't mobile friendly.
Interesting. So it's not just about having, like, a mobile version of your website.
Right. It's got to be like mobile first. Design it for mobile first.
Got it.
Make sure it works smoothly on those smaller screens. Make sure it loads quickly on a mobile network. All that stuff.
Okay, that's really insightful. So we've got these three pillars. We've got on-page, we've got off-page, we've got technical. But why should anyone bother with all this? I mean, it sounds like a lot of work.
It can be work, yes, but the payoff can be huge. Because SEO, it's not just about getting more traffic.
What is it about them?
It's about getting the right traffic. It's about building your brand.
Okay, getting more visibility.
Getting more visibility, becoming more credible, you know, establishing yourself as an authority in your niche.
So it's not just about, like, vanity metrics, like how many people hit your website.
No, it's about getting the right people to hit your website. And here's the thing, when you rank high on Google, people trust you more.
They do.
They do.
Yeah.
Because they think, well, Google put this website at the top. It must be good.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Right.
Yeah.
So SEO builds trust.
Okay, so that's a big one. What else?
It's also a lot more cost-effective than paying for ads all the time.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, ads can be great, but you're constantly paying.
Yeah.
With SEO, you do the work up front, and then you get that free traffic coming in all the time.
So it's more of a long-term strategy.
It is a long-term strategy, yeah.
Okay, I like that. What else? What other benefits are there?
It also brings in more targeted traffic. Remember we talked about people actively searching for something specific?
Yeah.
Well, SEO helps you get in front of those people. They're already interested in what you have to offer, so they're more likely to convert, to become customers, to sign up for your email list, whatever your goal is.
So it's not just random people stumbling across your website.
No, it's people who are looking for exactly what you provide. And last but not least, you know, a website that's well optimized for SEO also tends to be just a better website overall. It loads faster, it's easier to navigate, all that good stuff.
So everybody wins.
Everybody wins. The search engines are happy, your visitors are happy, and you're happy because you're getting more traffic and more conversions.
All right, I'm liking this. This is good stuff. But, you know, I've heard a lot of people say different things about SEO. You know, a lot of misconceptions out there, like myths.
Oh yeah, there are a lot of myths.
Let's talk about some of these.
Let's bust some myths.
Myth-busting time.
All right, myth number 1. SEO is a one-time thing. You know, you optimize your website once and then you're good to go.
Yeah, set it and forget it.
Set it and forget it. Sadly, it doesn't work that way.
Why not?
Because Google and the other search engines, they're constantly updating their algorithms.
So what does that mean?
It means what worked last year might not work this year. You got to stay on top of things. You got to keep adapting.
So it's an ongoing process.
It is. It's a
Okay.
marathon, not a sprint.
Okay, myth number 1 busted. What's myth number 2?
Myth number 2. More keywords equals better ranking. Just stuff your website full of keywords and Google's going to love you.
All right, so it's all about quantity over quality.
That's what some people think, but it's just not true. Google's gotten a lot smarter over the years. They can tell when you're just trying to game the system.
So what do they want to see?
They want to see high-quality content that's actually valuable to users.
So it's got to be readable?
Readable, informative, engaging, and yeah, sure, you can use keywords, but use them naturally. Don't just cram them in there.
Got it. So quality over quantity when it comes to keywords.
Exactly.
What's another common misconception?
Another big one is that SEO results are instant. You know, you make a few changes to your website and you expect to see your rankings skyrocket the next day.
Right, so it's like a quick fix, instant results.
Yeah, a lot of people think that. But it's just not how it works. SEO takes time.
How much time are we talking?
Weeks, months, sometimes even longer. It takes time for Google to crawl your website, to index the changes you've made, to figure out where you should rank.
So patience is key.
Patience is key. It's a long game.
All right, so we've busted some myths. Now let's get practical. What are some things our listeners can do, like right now, to start improving their SEO?
All right, here are 3 quick tips.
Let's hear them.
Number 1, optimize your title tags and meta descriptions.
Okay, hold on, back up. What are title tags and meta descriptions?
These are the little snippets of text that appear in the search results.
Okay, so like the title of your page and then a little blurb underneath.
Exactly. That's your first impression. So make them count. Make them clear, concise, and make sure they include relevant keywords.
So it's not just about informing people what the page is about, it's also about enticing them to click.
It's about both. You want to stand out in those search results.
Okay, tip number 1, got it. What's number 2?
Number 2, create amazing content that is so good people can't help but share it.
So what, like blog posts, videos, infographics?
All that stuff, yeah. And it's got to be valuable. It's got to answer people's questions, solve their problems, give them something they can actually use.
So it's not just about, like, pumping out content for the sake of content.
No, it's got to be high quality. It's got to be engaging. Think about what your audience actually wants to see.
Got it. Content is king. What's the 3rd tip?
Number 3, speed up your website. Make sure that thing loads like lightning.
We talked about that earlier.
We did. It's super important. People are impatient, and they're not going to wait around for a slow website.
And neither is Google.
Neither is Google. They want websites that provide a good user experience. So optimize your images, enable browser caching, get a good hosting provider, all that stuff.
Okay, so those are 3 things people can start working on right away.
Right away. And, those are just a few basic tips. There's a lot more to SEO, but if you can get these right, you'll be well on your way.
Well, that's awesome. I mean, SEO can seem really daunting.
It can.
But, you broke it down really well today. It seems like it's really about understanding your audience, creating great content, and making sure your website is technically sound.
That's a good way to put it.
And the payoff can be huge.
It can be.
More traffic, more conversions, more brand awareness.
All of that.
So to wrap things up here, I mean, it sounds like SEO is something that every business owner, every content creator should really be thinking about.
It is.
It's an investment, for sure.
It is an investment.
But the potential rewards are definitely worth it.
I think so.
So our listeners out there, we've talked about a lot today.
We have.
Algorithms, keywords, backlinks, mobile-first design. But what are some things our listeners can do to make sure their online presence stays strong in the future? Not just today, but in the long run.
That's a great question. And honestly, that's the most important question because the online world is constantly changing. So you got to be adaptable. You got to be willing to learn. You got to stay ahead of the curve. So as you're working on your SEO, keep asking yourself, what's next? What are the new trends? What are the new technologies? And how can I use them to my advantage? If you can do that, you'll be in good shape.
All right, so stay curious, stay adaptable. Good advice.
Well, on that note, that is going to do it for today's deep dive into SEO. Thanks for listening, everybody. We'll catch you next time.
Thanks for having me.